We are live. I am going to give me a moment. I'm going to share this link in the groups really quick. Okay. Give me a second while I share this link. Hello, Egg Bay. How are you? One second. I'm sharing the link to all the million groups. Never fails. All right, y'all. Okay, we got 4 people so far. How y'all doing? Let me go see if I can see any comments on Facebook. Not yet. Can y'all hear me okay? You can hear me just super fantastic. All right. Awesome. I'm so good. I'm good. I'm hot actually. It's hot here in Alabama. Hot and humid. Thank you for joining me. Thank you guys. So where are y'all from? Where y'all streaming from? And how's the weather? I'm glowing. Thank you. I like to glow. That's awesome. I'm glad you are blessed. Y'all welcome. Hey, Omowade. Hi, Nubian Cutie. Let's see, there's a Facebook user here. I can't see who you are, but hello to you and thank you for joining me. Greetings, Yay. Thank you all for joining me. So my name is Priestess Anansi, and this is the second installment of a series that I have been doing on energy. And the first class I did was what your personal vibration is and how to identify it. And so today I'm going to talk about how to raise your vibrations. And there's a million ways to do that. But for time's sake, I'm only going to go through 5, maybe a couple more, depending on where we're at or whatever. And I'm interested in some of y'all's input as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to review what we talked about last time, because I'm not sure if some of you might have not caught the last class. And just so that it all kind of flows and makes sense, I'm going to review the last class, and I have my notes here. So if I look down, it's because I'm looking at my notes, and I can be a bit disconnected sometimes. So just bear with me. I'm gonna follow my notes so I stay, on task. So last time we talked about what our personal vibration was or is, and it's actually our energetic quality. It's almost like our energetic signature. It's what people feel when they're around us. It's what we put off. It's what is perceived by others. It's basically how it determines whether we can manifest or not. It determines whether we are perceiving things clearly. It can save your life. It can add to your life. It could assist you in manifesting. There's so many reasons why we should be able to identify our personal vibration or our energetic signature, right? So last class, some of the things that I said and how I described your personal vibration was your energetic quality, the energy you hold within yourself, the energy the energy that directly affects the environment around you. And when I say that, I mean like animals, people, family, friends. It's like your state of being. All right, so when you're vibrating low, right, is when you're depressed, you got negative thoughts, you're sick all the time, in pain, you're in a kind of a lower vibration, right? You got your mood is kind of you're snappy, you're in a funk, you're in a nasty mood or whatever. And you get angry easily. You can even, like, I think I talked about this last time, is you kind of experience a snowball effect. Like you lose your keys and you get pissed about that, and then you find your keys and then you're late for work, and then you get caught in traffic and then you get mad about that and you end up having a car wreck and blah blah blah. It kind of snowballs, right? So you can get up in the morning and set the tone for your day just based on your energy. And a lot of your energy is based on your thoughts, which is what we're going to get into in a minute. So y'all tracking me so far? Last time we also talked about things that lower your vibration, right? And that's eating processed food. And not only that, I don't know if many people think of this, but I'm pretty sure we all do because we're like-minded people. But also sometimes when you eat a lot of meat, some of the meat that's processed is slaughtered, and they've lived a horrible, uncomfortable, painful life, and they're injected with all these things that make them grow at an abnormal rate, right? That animal holds all that energy, that pain, that anguish, whatever. I mean, just think about the chickens in overcrowded coops. That's not a good quality of life, and then we turn around and eat that meat. So diet, that can lower your vibration. Traumatic experiences, even going to a job that you don't like, just basically being out of alignment, right? So once we can identify those things, once we can identify those things, then we know how to fix them, right? Let me check Facebook real quick because I can't see. Okay, now I can. Okay, you don't want to hear me. Hold on, you don't want to hear me. Okay. All right, now I can see the comments. Okay. All right. So, yeah. Let me get back on. And then, so let's talk about some things, some symptoms of a high vibrating person. You feel energized. You're in a good mood. People flock towards you. Y'all ever been like in a public place and just strangers will just walk up to you and start telling you their whole life story? That's an indication that you might have some good energy. Like you might be in alignment. Like you might be like everybody wants to be around you. Your wishes and your desires kind of come true, or you thinking about something or somebody and all of a sudden they call you. You are vibrating high. Your energy is working for you. Those are some examples of when you are vibrating high. It's almost like you can just attempt to do something and everything just falls right in line for you. Everything's working. Everything on the radio sounds good. That's how I know I am vibing high, is when I get in the car and I turn on the radio and every single song makes me want to just, yeah, I'm vibing high, right? So, what if we're not vibing high? Or what if we want to do some work and we want to make sure it works, or we have a goal we want to meet, or we want to just basically manifest, right? Or we just want to be our best selves. What are some of the things that we can do to raise our vibration? And so that's what brings us here now. So I'm going to say the first thing I want to talk about is our thoughts, right? So basically, the way our thoughts determine our vibrations. Definitely, it determines the energy, right? That is where, when we want to start something or when we want to take action, it first develops as a thought, right? So what you want to do is you want to clean up your thoughts, right? If you are constantly thinking negative, if you have negative thoughts, of course you're going to have a negative energy. Of course you're not going to perceive things the same way you would if you were in a good mood, or if you were loving yourself or telling yourself good things, right? So we got to learn how to replace our old thoughts about ourselves and about things with new, more positive thoughts, because when you change your thoughts, you change your world, right? I mean, that's big. Think about it. If you change your thoughts, you change your world, because your perception changes. Um, I can tell myself all day long that I'm not doing enough, or I'm too slow, or I'm I need to do better. Well, we know we need to do better, but how are we going to do better? We're not going to do better by keep telling ourselves the same negative stuff, right? I mean, I think it's Mary J. Blige has a song out now where she wakes up in the morning and she looks in the mirror and she goes, "Hello, beautiful." Y'all know that song. Yeah, the magic of believing, right? I mean, it first starts with the way you think of yourself, and then the way you think of everything around you. So, and then your thoughts. You know, First of all, our environment and everything that we encounter has first been someone's thought, right? I mean, literally, that purple jag was once somebody's imagination, their thought, right? And let's think of your mental, your thoughts as a garden, right? As a garden. You plant a garden, you sow some seeds, which are your thoughts, your beginning thoughts, right? And then you just don't tend to it. You just let it grow, let it grow. It's untamed. It's just, you just let it grow wild. Um, that can happen to our thoughts. As a matter of fact, it can happen to our if our thoughts are negative, then that can basically take over our lives, right? You have to check on your garden. You have to pull the weeds. You have to, put yourself, you have to water and feed, your garden, and think of your mind the same way. You have to check in with yourself. You have to make sure that what you're telling yourself is the truth, is actually the truth. It's not true that I am lazy, or that I am slow. I have a bad habit of saying that I have a bad memory. I don't have a bad memory. My memory may be short and compromised, but I don't have a bad memory, right? As a man thinketh, so is he. Exactly. Exactly. So I would say the first thing that we would do is change our thoughts, right? Because our thoughts is the creates our environment, and it also affects our speech, right? So what I have here is, replace old thoughts about yourself with more positive new ones, right? And this leads to a different type of speech. It leads to a more positive speech. It leads to speech of love, of gratitude. It leads to so much more. It leads to a cleaner environment. It makes you changing your thoughts, change your perception, right? So if you are depressed, and you're telling yourself negative thoughts, take a look around the room. What does your room look like? Right? If you're positive, if you have positive thoughts, then more than likely your energy will be higher. You'll feel a little better about yourself. You may want to spring clean. You may want to move some stuff around, declutter a little bit, and let the energy flow a little more, right? So when you replace your thoughts with more positive ones, right? You begin to see your goals clearly. You begin to see the path to your goals clearly, and you begin to manifest, and miracles happen. And I just want to say, goals, miracles, manifestation, all those things are not in competition with nobody else's goals, miracles, or the way you manifest, because they're yours. And no one else has the ability to manifest the way you do, or miracles may not come to anyone else the way they may come to you, and vice versa. So really, none of that is going to happen if it doesn't start with you and your mental state, right? So the first thing I would say is to change your thoughts. Anybody have any input on that? My forecast told me to be careful of negative self talk. This message reinforces that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And, you can actually fall into a habit of negative thinking and intrusive thoughts. Like, those become your truth. If it may, you may fall into a habit where every day for years you just have these negative thoughts, and so now you got a negative attitude. Your life doesn't look so good. Your social relationships don't look so good. And to this and at this point it becomes your norm. So you absolutely have to check in with yourself, and you have to, pull those weeds, and you have to resow some seeds, and you have to, open up your mind a little bit, and maybe take some, I don't know, but y'all get what I'm saying. Yes. So after you've changed your thoughts, right? And you can think clearly, at this point, I would set some intentions, right? Set some good intentions. And that's one of the things that we do in our spiritual practice, especially in the mentorship program, is we like Omaware said, we do a forecast, a weekly forecast. And with every day of the week, we set intentions, right? And intentions are everything, because now you're switching up your thought process. Now you're making a conscious effort to do better, to be better, and to really deliberately set your path on how you want things to go, right? So setting positive intentions, right? And once you do that, you check in with yourself, create a schedule, check in with yourself. I have to like put reminders on my phone for like every hour, just to like ding, hey, are you, what's your mental state? How are you feeling right now? Check in with yourself. Do you need to take a deep breath? Do you need to take time out? So what I have here is set positive and deliberate daily intentions and check in with yourself periodically to see if you are in line with the intention. Okay, if you are, then awesome. But if you're not, then right then and there, make adjustments, because that snowball effect can take over, right? You can literally be vibing high in the morning, and then something small will come and change your whole thought process. And then boom, your intentions are out of there. If you don't check back in, your intentions are out of there. Things are starting to unravel a little bit, and you just kind of lose your path. You just kind of you start making different decisions. So check in with yourself, right? And you check in with yourself mentally, physically, and socially. And I say that because um, sometimes you can be in a situation where you are vibing high and you're feeling good, and then your painting's getting a wad, and then you're just like, dang, some don't feel right. And then you just kind of get in a funk. But really, you just probably need to go to the bathroom and straighten your clothes out, right? Or you're in an environment and there's like this beeping noise going on, and you don't notice it until somebody cuts it off, and you're like, damn, it was bothering me, right? So check your environment, right? Check your social interactions. Are you around someone that's kind of like a friend of me or something, got something negative to say about everything? Like check your environment, your mental state. Just check in with yourself periodically. Make sure you're still in alignment with your intentions. Yeah. Almost every time he shares a message with from yes, right. It's like, dang, that was for me, man. Exactly. So I would say set positive intentions, right? Okay, so this next one is really important too, right? Okay, so I'm going to ask, how many of you are familiar with the flow theory or the theory of flow? Anybody? Give me a smiley emoji if you are familiar with the theory of flow. Oh, wait. Because this is important. Like, this is important. Okay. No. Someone said no. My egg base said not me. Okay, so yes. Okay, so so the flow theory was is by this guy, and I'm not even gonna even try to pronounce his name. Maybe I wonder if I can put it in the chat. Can I put it in the chat? Yeah, I can. I'm gonna try and put it in the chat real quick, because I'm not absolutely. It's a name that I have not been able to pronounce since I learned about this theory. And then I'll tell you what. And then you can also look this up later on. There we go. So that's the guy's name, right? He introduced this theory in the 1970s, and it's based on research where he examined people who did activities of pleasure even when they weren't awarded anything for it. They were just involved in something that they like doing, right? So I would describe, or you would describe, the theory of flow as such. It is a flow state, and it's also known as being in a zone, right? It's a mental state in which a person performing some activity is fully immersed in a feeling of energized focus, full involvement, and enjoyment in the process of the activity. So, what that means basically is you're doing something that you love and you're so passionate about that you lose track of time. You lose track of time. You forget where you are. You don't hear anything going on around you. It's just like you're doing something, and all of a sudden you look up. It's 3 4 hours later. You ain't eaten. You haven't gone to the bathroom. You just was in your own world, right? This is called the theory of flow. And this happens when um this your skills, I'm talking with my hands, you can't see them. Your skill and the challenge meet, and you love what you're doing, right? So it can't be anything that's too challenging for you, because that will cause frustration, and it can't be anything that's too easy, because then that will cause you to be bored, and you probably won't do that again, right? So it has to be something that equals matches your skill level, and something that you are very passionate about, that causes you to forget everything. It causes you to go into a different world. You forget about having to pay that bill, or God forbid, don't, I mean, pay the bill, but I mean, just don't stress about it. You forget about that hard day at work, or that negative person that walked up to you and said some comment that you didn't even need to hear, or whatever, right? It's called the theory of flow. And the reason why this is number 3 on the list is because this does raise your vibrations. When you involve yourself in an activity that fills your cup in such a way that you lose track of time and you can't wait to get to it, it raises your vibration, and it is a type of therapy, right? I learned this when I was certifying as a recreation therapist, and providing therapy to people with disabilities, um, based on what they love to do and based on their passion. And what I realized is that it absolutely brings you out of your shell. It makes you want to live that life. It makes you want to be about that life. Like, you want to vibe with that all the time, right? And now you're coming out of this place of low vibration, and you're going into a place of wanting to be in the present, being lively with everyone else, because you're really looking forward to doing this activity that puts you in that flow or in that vibe. So I would say, find your passion, find what you love to do. So if you are a person who goes to work every day, comes home, picks the kids up, helps them with homework, um, fix dinner, get ready for the next day, and you do that day in and day out, and there's never anything that you involve yourself in that you love to do, that you're passionate about, that you can look forward to even once or twice a week, then you're not there's there then you lose that opportunity to raise your vibration. You lose that opportunity to put yourself in a different type of energy. So I would say that would be another good way to raise your vibration. Excuse me, because my throat's getting dry. I'm gonna drink my beet juice real quick. Excuse me. Like my gardening, yes, 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 Nubian cutie, like gardening. Right. Like that, like being in nature. I mean, I lose track of time when I'm in nature. When I paint, you can't, no, I don't hear anybody. Like when I'm in that flow, I don't hear nothing. When I'm sowing my seeds, when I'm in the garden, when I'm picking my stuff, I don't hear nothing. Like, yes, it's the theory of flow. It's an actual thing. It's used in therapy all the time. Um, and it's a lot of people have hobbies, but people with their hobbies, they don't not a lot of people experience flow in their own hobbies. You have to feel a certain way about it, and it has to match your skill level in such a way that it's challenging, but it's not boring and it's not stressful. So yeah. So the fourth thing did y'all have anything else you want to say about the flow theory? I'm going to go ahead and move to number 4 just for time's sake because we're already 30 minutes in. All right. So I decided to include giving and gifting as a way to raise your vibrations, right? For me, it feels good to bless somebody. It feels good to take care of people, to do something for someone that you would want done to yourself, right? And on the other end, it does not feel good to have somebody to take from you all the time. Tiara, this will remain in the group. So giving is a form of energy exchange, and it allows you to tell spirit, like, ancestors, the earth, your brothers and your sisters, your friends, that you are not just thinking of yourself, like you actually care, like you actually want to give, you want to share love is basically what it is, right? Who wants to be around someone who's constantly taking and taking and taking? Because that's exhausting, isn't it? It's exhausting to have someone always I have, you know what, I have someone in my life right now who is a friend, and but this person only calls when they need something, want some advice, or it's never, how are you doing? Do you have time to talk? Can I ask you a couple of questions? It's always a phone call to complain or to ask a question or to ask a favor. And it's like, at some point, I I ain't gonna be able to keep giving you my energy like this. Like, at some point, I'm not, my cup is gonna run dry, right? So I think it's important, and also your blessings come back. Like, you have no idea how you open the road up for yourself when you get rid of things, when you make room for things, when you give, you make room for stuff. That's an energy exchange, right? It's a form of gratitude and appreciation, and just being in a state of gratitude is a high energy. Yes, energy vampires or psychic vampires. They just, and that's another way. And I was gonna do, the next class is on maintaining your energy, and that's one of the things you do. You got to be able to recognize when people are takers in your life and when people are givers. Like, I'm all about that exchange. I'm all about hugging you back. I'm all about, sharing, or living vicariously through you. But what I'm not going to do is take from you, is take, constantly take. If that person's taking from you, they're taking from everybody else, right? And they probably got a house full of shit, and their energy probably can't flow. So yeah. And this not only goes for I'm not just talking about things. I mean, giving can be as much as decluttering and giving what you don't need, buying something someone needs when you have extra, or as little as lending an ear, right? Just listening. But just, to be in a high vibrating state, you got to be able to understand how you affect others, and make other people feel good, make them feel appreciated, show some gratitude, right? Don't be a taker, be a blessing. All right, so the fifth way I wanted to talk about today is about opening up your mind and challenging yourself, exploring, waking up your mind and your body and your spirit. And when I say that, I mean read some books, read a lot, explore a lot, take walks a lot, do some research, learn a new language, Wear a conversation starting t-shirt. Just step out of your comfort zone. Y'all don't even know this is not my comfort zone, sitting up here on this live talking. However, I know that if I become comfortable with it, I would love it. Like, because I want to connect with people, right? Touch some grass, be barefoot. Yeah, you know? So, I mean, there's so many ways to raise your vibration, y'all. There's so many ways. And there's so many ways to feed your soul, because feeding your soul also raises your vibration. And we all know that energy is in everything, right? And so what we give we get, what we are, what we eat we are, what we think we are, um a plant's energy is going to be different than a stone's energy. Your personal energy is different from your sister's energy, but the energy that you put off and the energy you surround yourself with, it all blends and it all connects. And the universe and spirit moves in such a way, um, your energy directs the way your life goes, is basically what I'm trying to say. If you are living a low vibrational life, then you're not going to get, you're not going to be your best self. So you can be doing work all day long, right? And your energy ain't right and nothing's going to work right for you. I had to pull up my thing to make sure I was following in line. So that brings me to workings and your vibration. So I thought, we practice doing a lot of work in our coven, in our mentorship program. We learn how to create our life, how to manifest what we want to happen in our, how to create goals and meet our goals. We learn how to heal. We learn how to basically be a priestess, and that involves a lot of work. It involves a lot of work, and you have to be in alignment with yourself. You have to be vibrating high, or else this will be exhausting. And your intentions will not be real. They will not come from, you. How can I say this without I'm trying to find really a really nice way to say it, but your workings are going to be trash if you putting out. I mean, if you ain't vibrating high, if you vibrating low and you're around here tired and depressed and all of this, we got to provide ways to increase our vibrations so that what we want to happen or what we intend to happen falls right in line and we can move on to the next, right? There's been times where I have been trying to divine, but I couldn't read my cards clearly because I couldn't get the message because I wasn't vibrating where I needed to be. I wasn't on that level. I was actually kind of vibrating low. And so even I have to learn to check myself and to make sure that I'm in alignment. And that means whatever it takes, whatever you have to do, shadow work, I don't know, get your chakras where they need to be, for you to adjust your energy so that you can make stuff happen for you, right? There is that. What was I going to say? There is no right. Magic ain't magic. Exactly. Literally, you can only go so far, working against the grain, working against your grain, not in alignment with yourself or not being on your path, right? So I think it's important that we are able to recognize what our personal vibration is, and mine may not be the same as yours. My level of opportunity or functionality or my level, my frequency may not be the same as yours. Um, um, but we all vibrate at different levels. As long as you are able to recognize and measure your own level, your highest, most functional level, so that you can make some progress in this life, right? So you can do what you're put here to do. So, the next class, I'm going to talk about maintaining your vibration. And this is just basic energetic stuff. Like, y'all know that we're all created of energy, and you can't destroy energy. You can manipulate it, you can change it, but you can't destroy it. And so if you got that negative energy around you and you don't know how to manipulate it, move it out your way, or to raise that energy or change the frequency, then it's going to stay there, but you ain't going to be able to get rid of it. You're not going to be able to destroy it, right? And that's another thing that we start to develop and learn in mentorship. So um before you can even begin to be to progress in yourself, you have to be able to identify your personal energy and where you're at with that, and what it looks like, what low vibrations look like and what high vibrations look like, right? And then you want to find ways to increase your vibration so that you can do better and you can feel better and you can be who you need to be. You can be that mother you need to be. You can be that protector you need to be. You can be that witch you need to be. You can be that priestess you need to be. Whatever you need to, you be that friend you need to be, you know? Um, but until then, there's always going to be that snowball effect. You'll notice it when you know, like when you know, right? So I want to thank y'all because I can go on and on about this, and I really am trying to just keep it basic. But I may come out with some more detailed classes later on, because it's a whole, like, y'all. It goes way deeper than this. Um, but I do want to thank you for joining me today. What questions do y'all have, if you have any? Let me see, can I pull this up? Because I'm not sure if I got all comments on here. Let's see. Hoarders are often depressing people. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, you'll notice, like just say if you suffer from depression, just look around, like there's some clutter somewhere. Yes. Y'all, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to me, even though I felt like I rambled some of the time. But I'm serious about, raising our vibration so we can be who we need to be for each other. Tiara says, I'm sorry if I'm asking you to repeat yourself, but go for it, Tiara. I'm in a low frequency job and it's taking a toll on me. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Y'all know that the last 2 years, more people have quit their jobs and started their own job than any other time. Like, have y'all read that? Read up on that. A lot of people are like, life is too short. Life is too short. Do a class on the flow theory, please. I would love to. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Tiara, you'll notice that when you're doing things that you don't like to do, period, it lowers your vibration, right? And of course, we all have responsibilities and we all have things that we have to do that are not pleasurable, but you know, we got to find ways that raises our vibration and protects us from that type of stuff. Somebody said I have to stay high. Yeah, if that's what it takes, right? Being in a low vibe house, ain't it? Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, I know I spoke about 5 ways that you can do, but there's also other ways. And a lot of times what I do is if I notice myself in a high vibration state, right? I assign that to a smell. I assign that feeling to a sound, because really energy, you can feel it, right? That feeling is a signature. Mark that signature with something. Mark it with a song, mark it with a scent, mark it with a sound, right? So if I'm vibrating high, um, or if I need to get back to that frequency, I'll go to that sound. I'll do my singing bowls because that puts me where I need to be, you know. I'll burn some sandalwood because that smell makes me feel good. You know what I'm saying? Find your signature and then assign things to it so you can snap right back to it. You can just flip a switch and go right back to that. I'm not sure what to do when in this case it's the most money I've ever made, and pivoting doesn't seem smart, but it's taking my energy down. Okay, so Tiara, I wish the Mary Jane still worked. It just makes me sleepy because my body is like, rest, you need it. Okay, so as far as the Mary Jane, there's different strains that you can try that won't make you sleepy and will actually put you in a different kind of, actually energize you. I just saw an article saying more people are choosing unemployment over unhappiness at work. Yeah, at some point you got to make a decision. And I understand being in a high paying job. I was in a high paying job, but I was also sick all the time too, right? So I found a way that I can make more money without my job. Excuse me. Thank you. I'm going to probably have to watch this a few more times. Yes, of course. And Tiara, like if you're at work, I don't know what kind of work you do, but and if it's a low vibrating job, find a way to bring in a little higher vibrations. You know what I'm saying? Like a nice plant. And I'm not even sure if you've tried any of this, but there's so many things that you can do to try to make it a better space for you, a better frequency for you. But I wish you the best with that, because I wouldn't suggest just walking away if money is, if it doesn't make sense for you. But there's a million ways you can make it make sense, right? And you can actually flip that whole situation into a high vibrating situation in another way. Maybe there's ways you haven't thought about it, but you can actually work on changing your environment or bringing in a new environment, or there's a million ways to do it. But I wish you the best. Yes. Yeah. All right, guys, it is already 48 minutes and I don't want to keep you because it is Tuesday and I'm sure we all got stuff to do. But whatever you do, try to do it well. You're so welcome, Tiara. You're so welcome. And I'm just going to leave you guys with this. Be the person you would like to see show up in your life. Be the person you would like to see show up in your own life, right? You already got people in your life you hate to see coming. So flip it. You be the person you want to see show up in your life. And I guarantee you, the energy you put into that person will walk right up to you. You guys are welcome. Thank you again. I'm Priestess Anansi. I love you all and have a great evening.